So hi everyone, my name is Jilke. I'm from Insights Consulting, a market research agency. And what I am responsible at Insights Consulting is not insight generation, but insight activation. And insight activation is actually when we have created the insights, we want to activate them within a company. We want to let people use them and create true impact with them. And what I will speak about today is how video or what role video plays in this insight activation. So you might wonder, why video? Why is video becoming so popular right now? Well, maybe if we just look at the numbers or at data, we see that people are consuming more videos, they're watching more videos, they're interacting more, sharing more, even creating more videos. But also if we look at the professional side, we see that more companies, more digital marketeers are using video content, and more companies are investing in a video content strategy. So video is actually really becoming more and more popular. And I think it's also safe to say that video is also almost being the dominant media on social platform. To just give you a few examples, remember the Ice Bucket Challenge on Facebook, even on Instagram and Snapchat, we have plenty of video stories popping up. On social platforms that are more professional, like LinkedIn, there are plenty of videos on your feed, and even news agencies are making use or see the value in live video on Facebook. So all these different stakeholders, companies, brands, traditional media, consumers, they all see the value of video in their life and in their profession. So why are we missing out? Why is market research missing out? Because although we sometimes use video, it's still being used in a very limited way. And there is so much more potential, so much more value that we can add to that. So maybe let's get started with how do we use video in insight generation at Insight Consulting, because this is actually where we all get started from. We start with collecting consumer observations and create insights out of that. So how do we use video here? Well, we start by giving a consumer a task, and we ask them to create a video where they complete that task and share that with our online community. And this task can be do an interview with your partner about a certain topic, create a vlog where you give feedback about a certain product. You can also ask them to do a certain action, like show us how do you shave in the morning, what is your shaving ritual. You can also ask them to show us how do they shop in the supermarket, or we ask them what their daily rituals look like, what is so valuable in their life that they would not that they could not miss it for a minute. Now, we use those observations, those rich data to create that insights. But why do we see this as rich data? Why is it so valuable for us as consumer for market research? Well, first of all, it's personal. You feel like you have a connection with that person on the other side. You feel like you get to know them, because it feels like in that video, in that interview, they're talking to you. In that vlog, they give you feedback. It's also contextual. It's you see things like when they are shaving, you see things that you would otherwise miss, because for those people, it's so obvious they don't even think about. In the previous session, they were telling about they're lying to us, but I would not call it lies. I would just say they're not aware of it. Like, is their bathroom small or large? It just seems so obvious for them. Where do they put their razor? Where do they put their shaving product? Is there enough light to see it, or is there too little light? All these things are very valuable information for us, but without video, we would miss it. And lastly, it's also emotional. When someone is talking to you or talking to the video or telling about about a certain topic, you can see when they're passionate about it and when not. In the example of the ritual, their daily ritual, when they have a morning walk with their dog, you see the love that they have for their dogs and why that morning ritual is so important for them. So together with these observations, we create insights. And then it's that is what I do, we activate those insights. But how does insight activation looks like in most companies? Well, I think traditional insight activation looks something like this. It's been shared by creating slides, lots of PowerPoint slides. And of course, we do our best by also giving presentations, giving workshops, playing quizzes. So there's a lot to do about it, but there's still unused potential here. And why is that? Well, it's because we don't create true impact. Because to create true impact, we need memory times empathy. And on the memory part, I think we do a very good job with presentations, with the workshops. But empathy is much harder to do. I think on the one hand, you can create empathy by really meeting with the consumer, by doing some sort of consumer connect, but this is also rather expensive. And this is why we see that most companies only do this maybe once, twice a year. So there should be something easier to do, something cheaper to do. And that is where we see video play a big role. Now, of course, you don't want to share all your video materials that you have, because otherwise people will be overwhelmed, people won't get it. So you need to think about a strategy. But how do you get started with this strategy? How do you get started to activate your insights? And to answer that question, I think we need to look back first at what makes a good insight. And at Insights Consulting, we have a formula for that. And we believe that a good insight is actually a consumer story, which consists of 1 or 2 lines that includes the following 3 elements. It's me, aha, and emotion. And it's me stands for recognition. As a consumer, you recognize yourself in the insights, in the friction. Aha is look at things from a fresh perspective, to show some freshness, to show something, to show a friction that person weren't realizing, but they think, yes, that's actually so true, to trigger that aha. And then thirdly is emotion, but not just any emotion, such a strong emotion that it creates a desire to change, that it almost sounds like a wish. So those are the 3 elements that we see that makes a good insight. And it's those 3 elements that we want to activate by the help of video. Now, this can sound a little abstract, so let me illustrate this with a few examples. Now, when I think about it's me, it's all about recognition. So when we try to activate this, we also want our people at the company or marketeers to recognize the consumer in the story, but also to recognize consumers in their daily environment. So what we did here is, in this project, we had a segment called Working Moms. And to activate that segment, we created a compilation video where we had 5 different working moms talk about their lives, showing fragments how their lives look like, and also talking about the frictions that they encounter. And the feeling that we wanted to create here was that people who were watching this video were really saying, hey, actually, this is not just a consumer. It's also someone I know. It's maybe my mom, it's my neighbor, it could be me. So this is really the feeling that we want to create, this recognition. Now, this is a rather passive way of activating via video, and we can also do something more actively. And what we did then was we asked the marketeers, we asked the team to create a video of themselves and to show in that video who in their environment they recognize as a working mom and why is that. That was the first element, so let's focus now on the second. Aha. So look at things from a fresh perspective, to look at things with a different pair of eyes. And the example that I would like to give here is in the shaving industry, more specifically in the female shaving industry. And one of the insights that we found here was that it's actually not that comfortable to shave your legs. And what we saw is that a lot of consumers had small bathrooms, they don't have much space to put their feet on, they don't have too much light, so they really were struggling to shave their legs. And second, you might not know this, but there are a lot of men active in this female shaving industry. And for them, it was even harder to put themselves in the position of these consumers and to see the friction that was there. So with the video, we one of the videos that we shared was of a consumer who was really putting her feet into the sink to be able to see all the hairs on her leg and to be able to remove all those hairs. So she won't miss a spot and she won't cut herself. I don't have to explain to you how uncomfortable that is. And this also was a feeling that people or marketeers were realizing. This is not the way how it should be done. It should be more easy. But even to activate this friction even better, to really open their eyes, we gave them a small exercise to step into the shoes of their consumer and to shave their own legs. And we asked them to create a video out of it to truly share their experience. Not the shaving itself, but more like how did it felt for them? Was it easy to shave? What was the position that you were in? How did you do it? And did it felt comfortable for you? And the result there was that people were really realizing shaving as a workout, we need to do something about it. And then the last element is emotion. A strong emotion, a desire for a change. And to give an extreme example, in the pharma industry, we have a lot of patients who have caretakers, and those caretakers are in most of the cases partners or close family who are taking care of the patients. And what we found there was that a lot of these caretakers felt left out when the patient was in a treatment, and they felt left out and neglected, and they would like to be more included. So to highlight this need, we shared a video where a patient was interviewing his partner about his disease. So we had him ask questions like, how did you feel when I was diagnosed with my disease? How does it affect your life? And also, what has changed for you now that you are maybe now not able to do anymore? So it was a very emotional interview, but this triggered that desire for a change, and this triggered the feeling to include caretakers more in the treatment cycle. Of course, it doesn't have to be that extreme. It should just focus on strong emotions that you have, videos with strong emotions in. Now, to actively activate this type of emotions, this type of videos, you can also think about meeting with the consumer, but instead of offline meeting your consumer, do this online by video chatting. And the benefits from this is, first of all, that it's easier to plan. It's also a bit cheaper, but what I found the most valuable is that you are able to record your interview. You are able to record your conversation with the consumer and to share that with your colleagues. And this is exactly what we did here. So we had them interview their consumer and share that afterwards with their colleagues to show how the consumer really felt and to really hear it in the words of the consumers. And what was very interesting here is that most of the participants, most of the people from the company, the marketeers, were immediately editing the video themselves. So we didn't ask them to do it, but they were immediately editing and only showing the fragments of the interview where the consumers were very emotional, like very passionate about a certain topic, where they showed a lot of body gestures, where they were more holding in their words, or that there was some more tense in their voice. So really focusing on emotional aspects to show to their colleagues, look, this is what you need to see. This is what I really want you to hear and to see with your own eyes. So 3 elements to activate via video. It's me, recognition, recognize the working moms in your environment. Look at something from a fresh perspective, really realize the friction and see how it feels for that consumer, and a strong emotion, a desire to change, like to an interview or a strong emotion from a consumer. Now, to wrap it up, I have some tips and tricks that you can use to activate your own insights via video. And the first one is you also need to activate those videos, because you also want people to be aware that you have great video material from your consumers. So you need to activate that online via newsletters, emails, but also offline. And I think a lot of companies now have TVs in their entrance or in their cafeteria, and those TVs are great platforms to show a teaser of one of your consumer video and to let them ask for more, to let them be aware that you have these videos. And second, you also need a platform where you can easily share and interact with those videos. So at Insights Consulting, we have our own Insight Activation Studio that you can see here. And this is a Pinterest-like platform, very visual and interactive, but you can also use platforms that you already have. Well, just don't forget to add context to your video so that you are aware that, so that people are aware what it's about. Create a content calendar, think about the things that I mentioned about the formula. And if you do content creation, make it light, make it easy to do, and most of all, make it fun. Add some gamification to it, a challenge, or let them play a certain role, like be a detective or a journalist. Okay, this was my presentation. I hope it gave you some inspiration to activate your insights via video. Thank you.